Hello and welcome to Melanie's Muses, where it's all TV talk all the time. New videos coming to you every Monday, so if you haven't clicked that subscription button yet, what are you waiting for? Click now and never miss a video. Melanie's Muses is proud to be a Telfie partner channel, so whatever you are watching, including this video, make sure you check in on Telfie, share to social media, and who knows when you'll unlock an exclusive sticker. Today's Melanie's Muses is going to be about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Can you believe the Joss Whedon show turns 20 years old this year? Buffy the Vampire Slayer is an absolute classic and definitely still a favourite of mine. Of course, originally you had the movie in 1992, which starred Christy Swanson and Luke Perry. Also penned by Joss Whedon, but definitely had nowhere near the success of the TV show, which came later in 1997. And of course starred the awesome Sarah Michelle Gellar and my favourite James Masters as Spike. And there are a plethora of other stars featured as well. Alison Hannigan, Anthony Head, of course the infamous David Boreanaz as Angel. There were always the people that were Team Angel or Team Spike. Obviously I was Team Spike 100%, particularly Team Spike when he was with Drusilla. I love Spike and Drew together. Yes, I know, Buffy Endgame, blah blah. But you are never going to change my mind on that. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was an absolutely groundbreaking show in its era. Full of pop culture references and one of the few shows that was always trying different things. They had a musical episode. They had an episode where nobody could talk. I mean, seriously, no one could talk. Who would even conceive of an episode like that? Of course, vampire shows went on to become very, very huge and popular, but this was definitely one of the first ones to break into that whole mainstream TV acceptance area. Joss Whedon has always been a master craftsman, and for me, this series really showcased all the great things that he can do. The story evolved as time went on. Obviously, at the beginning, we were all kind of getting to know what later started to be referred of as sort of the Scooby Gang, which really is quite funny when you think about it, because Sarah Michelle Gellar went on to be in the Scooby-Doo movies. Maybe that's why she went on to be in the Scooby-Doo movie. But anyway, you had the popular girl, you had the nerd. Everything was sort of centered around an old English guy in a library with books and mythology and lore, and nobody seemed to question any of this stuff that was going on. And it was set over a hellmouth. So not only did we have vampires, but we had other various weird and wonderful sort of creatures of the week. A bit like Supernatural now. You know, you had the big stories running, but then you had sort of like an episode of the week type thing. The show was so successful, it went on to have its own spin-off series, Angel, which actually I liked possibly even more than the original Buffy, although I didn't like the end of that. We won't talk about the end of that. So yes, 20 years on, this show still holds up. It's still being watched and discovered today. My daughter discovered it a few years ago. Netflix is fantastic for this sort of thing. All episodes available streaming on Netflix, and you can just sit down and binge to your heart's content. And fun fact, watch for a few little first things that pop up. For example, Google. Everybody now knows if you're saying, oh, you need to Google that, or have you Googled this person? It's just an accepted thing. Well, here's a nice little bit of trivia for you. Charles Arthur, who wrote a book called Digital Wars, says that this was the official first use of Googled in the episode of Buffy in 2002. Apparently it was such a big deal that other shows went on to be sponsored by things like Windows and the Bing search engine and tried to get that to become common use. But here we are 20 years later, and Google is by far the accepted term for looking things up on the internet. So can we credit that to Buffy? I'm going to credit it to her. Kudos to Buffy. So tell me, were you a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan? Did you watch the original movie? Did you just watch the show? Can you believe it's 20 years old? Leave me a note in the comments and let me know what you think about it. If you've never checked it out, do you think it would be something that you would go and watch now? Obviously some of the references in it might be a little dated, but strong female lead, fantastic cast of characters. Honestly, this thing is so much fun to go back and watch even now. That's probably why 20 years on, people are still talking about it. And of course Joss Whedon, because he is a little bit of a legend. I will admit, I'm a total fangirl. Okay, everybody, that's it for today. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Make sure you do all the fun YouTube things, like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, check into Melanie's Muses on Telfy and whatever else you are watching. Share it with everyone. Let them know. And I will see you back here next week for an all new video.